In today's session, we have two parts. The first one is a shorter one, 5 minutes, in which we will seize the opportunity and go over some of the statistics from the Deloitte latest research about knowledge management and generative AI, and then the amazing story of Cathay Pacific and how we implemented eGain successfully there. So on our latest report, you can see that 75% of the organizations said that knowledge management is important or very important to their success and in the next year or so. And only 9% of them said that they are ready, that they feel that they are ready for this challenge. And it's the greatest readiness gap that I remember over the last few years, which is very interesting, creates an interesting opportunity. And we'll see in a minute how it relates to Gen AI. After a few years of no major breakthroughs in which the knowledge management domain was progressing just a little, Gen AI and AI in general really changed the game. These new capabilities have given a major boost to the knowledge management domain. And I can tell you that originally it was just high-tech companies, but now everyone is talking with us about how can Gen AI improve the knowledge management, both the creation of knowledge, the retrieval of knowledge. It's everywhere, and I must tell you, and you'll see it in a minute, that it's a sweet spot. It's a place that can really be influenced using Gen AI. In our report, you can see that 94% of the leaders are saying that AI is critical to their success in the next 5 years. It relates to the messages that Ashu shared with us earlier. It's really, as I said, a cross-industry thing. You can see it everywhere. The interesting part is that 82% of them said that their employees are embracing it. They are not concerned about it. They don't give pushback. They think that it will improve their performance and their job satisfaction, which is a good thing. There is no objections there. And speaking of the challenges, and it's important to double-click on that for a minute, you can see in the report that most of the organizations that talked about their challenges or concerns weren't talking about the technology. They were talking about the change management, the processes, the governance. 29% of them are saying lack of technical skills. We see it in every project that we go to. The fact that you are integrating generative AI means that you need to adjust the skill set that you have in the organization, adjust the processes. You talked about compliance needs, but there are many other topics that needs to be covered. It's not a plug-and-play thing. It's not just adding another feature to your system, so it needs to be considered. And organizations have tried to take Gen AI to all sorts of places, experimented in all sorts of ways, and quite rapidly they found out that knowledge management is a quick win in that sense. The estimated effort in order to achieve the achievements was low, the return on investment is high, and we see other organizations trying to take it to compensation, to recruitment, to learning and development, many other areas. I can tell you that knowledge management is a place that we've managed to make a very dramatic impact with not a lot of effort. Just to summarize that point, I'll send you the report, the full report. If you want, feel free to reach out to me later on. But basically, we created this matrix that on one side examined the efforts that was invested, and on the other side, the success or the impact. And we see that we can divide the organizations that are already implementing Gen AI in some way, that we have obviously the transformers. These are the 27% that invested a lot, but also achieved a lot. And they are leading, of course. And you have the path seekers who invested a little and got a lot. They did it only in certain narrow areas. But if you look at it, 50% of the organizations are low achieving. Either they invested a lot but got just low achievements, or they invested a little and got low achievements. But 50% of them, and if we double click on it and see the reasons, back to the previous slides, it's not a plug and play technology. You need first to define your Gen AI strategy. Where do you want to focus? What are the business goals that you are trying to achieve? How does it relate to the other activities that you have, the processes? Do you have the right skills? Do you have the right change management programs? And our recommendation is, first of all, not to go to ad hoc, bottom-up initiatives, but to look at it more strategically and build the right mechanisms and processes and choose the right technologies in order to implement it correctly. So that's in a very short overview of the report. We'll, as I said, if someone wants to double-click on it, I'll be here the entire day. And I'll hand it over now to Priya to start telling you the story of Cathay.
Thank you. Thanks, Ido. Okay, so what I plan today to talk about today is just our journey implementing knowledge management solution at Cathay. So, and then we'll start off with a little bit about Cathay. How many of you have heard of Cathay Pacific? I hope all of you at least, yes. So, and I can maybe convert the rest of you. Okay, so we started in 1946, and we just turned 77 years old yesterday. So happy birthday to us. Yeah, and our founders were two Australian pilots, Roy Farrell and Sydney DeCanso, and they wanted to fly to the Pacific, and they were flying goods over to post-war China at the time. Today, we've got 225 aircraft and offer flights to over 200 destinations worldwide. We've got about more than 21,000 employees across the world. And pre-COVID, we used to fly about 35 million passengers annually. And of course, post-COVID, we're still at about 50% capacity today. So we're working very hard to get back to 100% on post-COVID levels, pre-COVID levels as well. We at Cathay have a very clear strategy to ensure the long-term success of Cathay, and it's built around 4 lines of business that we have. One, of course, is our premium travel. And of course, that's what we're renowned for. We operate all 4 cabins, the first class, this is what the Lynch barge out there. First class, business class, I hope it inspires you to travel us again. First class, business, premium economy, and economy class. And then we've also got a low-cost travel, which we have, which is Hong Kong Express. And our dual brand strategy, which is the premium travel with Cathay and the low-cost carrier, it enables us to cater to the needs of all customers. Right? Cargo, Hong Kong Airport is one of the world's busiest cargo hubs in the world. And we've got a big cargo business there. And 2023, we actually won the Air Transport World Cargo Airline of the Year award as well. So that's good for us. And then lastly, it's our lifestyle business. And this is about our Cathay membership and all of the propositions around 5 main pillars, which is payment, wellness, holidays, shopping, and retail, dining as well. So our ambition is to be one of the world's greatest service brands. What does that mean? It means putting our customers at the center of everything that we do. And it means understanding the customer's needs and then creating experiences that they value, and also simplifying their journeys to make it seamless and smooth. So if we put our customers at the center of everything that we do, we do need to start putting the people who serve them at the center of everything that we do. And that's where our journey with knowledge management started as well. So with customer care, our goal is to provide reassurance, peace of mind, and a smooth and seamless interaction. And of course, first call resolution as much as possible, right? That's what every one of us wants here as well. So we had to ensure our customer agents had the knowledge and the tools to serve our customers in a timely manner, that they were skilled and empowered to consistently deliver high-quality interactions, and more importantly, efficient interactions as well, right? And that overall, that we made it easy for them to provide that world-class service to all our customers. So our customer care profile, we've got about more than 15 contact centers around the world. We've got around 1,800 agents, and we serve customers in more than 15 different languages as well. So it's quite a challenge. They handle all inquiries related to just two of the pillars that I talked about, which is the premium travel and the lifestyle proposition. But just those two, there's a huge amount, and I think there's person, Karine from KLM, she would appreciate that. There's a huge amount of complexity involved in all aspects of airline business and our proposition, be it bookings, promotions, check-ins, the earn and burn of the Asia Miles with over 800 partners. So there's a lot. There's a lot of different policies, procedures, daily updates. Things change on a daily basis. So there are a lot of operational challenges as well that the poor contact center needs to deal with as well. So there's a lot of pressure to deliver the right information to our customers at all times. So in terms of the pain points, I think this resonates with most of you over here. When we talked to them, it was clear that they needed help. The information, of course, was used by our staff, was scattered across multiple repositories, including their mailboxes and their own hard drives. Unless you were a very organized person, you don't even know which version is the most updated one. So there was that risk as well. Our operations is very complex, and we're governed by a lot of regulations around the world. So it's extremely important to ensure that accurate and reliable information was available to both our customers, our agents, and our customers as well. Turnover, it's always challenging, right? It's very challenging to spend time training all of these agents on so many different aspects of our business as well. And it was very hard and it's a bit unfair to expect them to help retain all of that and be able to deliver it right as well. So there's a lot of pressure on them. So it became very clear that we needed a central knowledge management solution to manage all, or at least almost all, the information available to our agents and possibly to our customers in the future in a consistent and aligned manner. So we talked about why eGain, but for our agents, when we looked at it, we needed it to be a one-stop shop with content that was easy to search, access, and read, right? For our content authors and writers, we had to make it easy for them to create, organize, manage, and distribute the knowledge in a timely manner. And then, of course, from a system perspective and a product owner perspective, we wanted it to be easy to integrate with all our other systems in Cathay. We wanted to make sure we could self-serve most of the time, the self-serve templates, the reports, and the analytics. We didn't want to keep running to eGain, to any vendor to do that. And we also wanted to be part of the continuous improvement and driving the roadmap as much as possible with So we needed to look for a good solution that covered all our basic requirements very well. And we were also cognizant that a good KMS would benefit other parts of the organization as well, and that we should look for an enterprise solution and that would be easy to implement and scale across the business. So with all of those in mind, we set out to look for a suitable partner, and we found all of those in eGain. Right. So eGain's solution was better packaged. It was easy to use. All of the components that we needed was available. It had the knowledge repositories and the content lifecycle management, federated search, which was great because we wouldn't have transported all of our information to the Knowledge Hub at first, so it was good to have that federated search. APIs to chat and FAQ, so there was a little bit of future-proofing in there. And more importantly, it was easy to open up different business portals for other units as well if we needed it in the future. The Genesis plugin was definitely a must, given that, and given eGain's experience in that, it made our decision a lot more easier. eGain's solution was also much more flexible, and they were very open to customization. And the partnership with Deloitte actually gave us a lot of comfort. I mean, it was a trusted partner and who guided us through the implementation. This was all new to us, so it was important that we had a good structured way to implement something like this. We also felt that eGain was a partner that was much more forward-looking, and they were always looking to future-proof their solution. And we have the confidence that this was the solution that could meet the future needs of our organization. So our Cathay's knowledge journey. So we started in 2021, and we just, we went through all of the proof of concepts, and we took, so this kind of gave a good idea, gave the teams and us a good idea of what it involved, and a feel for the system and the processes and the change that was required. 2022 was when we started the project and our engagement with Deloitte, and Deloitte helped us with the strategy and framework for implementation and the governance as well. And then in 2023, early April this year, we implemented Knowledge Hub, and that's been our journey so far. So I think we are the youngest user of eGain in this room. So yeah, we've had quite a journey, but it's been quite smooth from my perspective at least, yeah. So I think I'm going to hand over to Deloitte now to take us through the methodology. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Oh, sorry.
So I can tell you that eGain is really an amazing product. It's an amazing technology. But after delivering more than 300 projects over the last few years, we've built an empiric model with the 6 dimensions that, based on our experience, is crucial to visit each and every part of this model. It's not just a story about technology. You do need to have this robust technology like eGain, but you need to visit a few more steps, and that's what we've done with Cathay. So first of all, the strategic alignment. We are not managing knowledge for the sake of managing knowledge, and it's not a goal. I had a meeting just the day before I arrived here, and it was with the head of the customer support of a big bank, and he said that we have a goal for 2024 to build a knowledge management solution, and I told him it's not a goal, it's a mean. What do you want to achieve? What are the business goals? And it's crucial to do it because at some point, 3 years, 4 years, someone will ask, why did we invest so much money in this initiative? And you need to be able to show the return on investment, the impact, what did you achieve, the business goals, the objectives. And the second reason is that you need to understand what you want to achieve in order to build your taxonomy, to build your knowledge domain. You're not going to manage the entire knowledge of the world, just a specific domains that will influence your business outcomes and your objectives. So it always starts with defining the strategy, the goals, the business objectives, and we'll see an example from Cathay in a minute. The second pillar is the leadership and governance. We understand that you have to have a very clear set of roles and responsibilities, accountabilities, who is doing what, who is in charge of the different activities. Again, it will not happen by itself. You need to be very clear about the R&R and the management model and how you measure it. It's something that you need to invest a lot in, the measurement. By the way, GenAI, as Ashu said earlier, can help you a lot in analytics capabilities, but you do need to measure it on a daily basis. The third pillar, the knowledge flow processes, is where we define those knowledge junctions that you either contribute knowledge, consume knowledge. You define the push versus pull mechanisms. When are we pushing knowledge to the users versus when do we allow them to pull it? And what are the policies? We really need to double-click on each process and see what are the knowledge junctions and what do we do there. The fourth pillar, maybe the most challenging one, I'm sure you guys can relate to it as well, is the taxonomy, the content aspect. Building a rigor taxonomy is critical to the success of any knowledge management solution. Even if it's the most advanced one, if you want to have a strong search engine with GenAI or without GenAI, if you want to have the ability to personalize the content to specific groups of people, you need to have the right taxonomy, the right knowledge architecture behind the scenes, the right knowledge templates, the metadata. It's heavy lifting. It's a lot of work to build it. It took us a while at Cathay, but it's a mandatory step that really, based on my experience, determine the success or failure of such an initiative. And then, obviously, you have the technology with all the advanced capabilities that were mentioned during this day, and you'll see more of them, the retrieval mechanisms and the contribution and the sharing and everything. Obviously, but that's a given. Let's say that you already bought eGain or you have the technology in place. And the sixth pillar, the people and culture, is definitely one that many organizations are neglecting. They are not investing enough in. There is a need with Gen AI or without Gen AI to invest a lot in the change management, creating the right motivations. It's not clear to users why should they contribute an article or a feedback if they learn something new. It's not obvious to them that they need to share their knowledge, and it's not obvious to them that they need to use it instead of calling their friends. It's not obvious, and you need to invest a lot in the training and the motivations. You can see from the Cathay story some examples for key deliverables. So when it comes to the strategy, you see that we've designed and outlined the goals and objectives and KPIs, and there is a systematic way today to measure the impact, to measure the usage and identify gaps and where we need to invest more. Take, for example, the ability to measure the FCR, the average handle time. How is it being influenced in correlation to usage of the system? You can see that the more they use the system, the better results you get in your FCR, average handle time per user. So users that are using it less will be less effective and so on. So you need to measure it and present it. Not only the usage, but also the contribution, right? One team, for example, are contributing X amount of feedback a month, and then you see another team that contributes 1/3 of it. You need to ask why. What is the difference in terms of motivations and engagement and adoption? The entire design, we used a concept called user-centric design. We designed the solution in order to address the specific needs of different users, whether it's the agents or the content editors, but also different groups of users have different needs. If AI brings us one very important capability, it's the ability to have a fully personalized experience. Different types of users should see different angles or different types of knowledge. You have one entity of knowledge in the knowledge base, but you can present it in different presentation layers based on the user's capabilities, tenure, location, and so on. You need to use those personalization capabilities. And I talked about the knowledge architecture as part of the content and context layer. We needed to build the knowledge trees, the architecture, the templates, and then double-click, as I said, on every flow process of the user journey and define the requirements and develop them accordingly. And we created a guidebook. You know, content is the king, as you know, and the guidebook was there to make sure that in future generations, when others will come, they will still use the same guidelines and same concepts and metadata and the way they organize the articles and so on. The more you structure it, the more you organize it, the rate of success will be higher. So I want to leave you, see, we even have time for questions if they want. We want to leave you with this last slide from the CIO survey that Deloitte delivered or presented. And you can see that the barriers to knowledge management initiatives, that was the question, what are the barriers, are not even some of them, maybe just a small amount touches the technology. Most of them are around resistance to change, inadequate sponsorship, unrealistic expectations, poor project management, and it relates to what I was saying, that it's not just a story about technology, and you need to make sure that even if you buy an amazing tool like eGain, you surround it and present all the needed elements of processes, governance, taxonomy, and so on, in order to make sure that it's a successful journey. So we have 3 minutes. If it's okay with the organizers, we can open it to questions if you have, and if you have any remarks. Don't be shy.
Oh, I still have a few more slides to go through. Yeah.
No questions. That's the problem of alignment.
Okay, so this is what our Knowledge Hub looks like, and it does look a little bit plain, but we focused on really getting the content structures and the navigation first. And as you can see that we've used pretty much all of the features that's available out there. We've got the read and sign, which is very useful for us, of course, the keyword search. We've also got Chinese language now that you can see, so they can choose the language, English or Chinese. We haven't put all of the Chinese content in there, but we're working on that. The updates, the announcement area, that has proved very, very useful for us. All of the updates are now pushed through this area. We've stopped issuing updates via email and daily briefings anymore. It's all now, everybody just has to go, all the agents must go to Knowledge Hub to read up on all of the updates as well. So this, of course, required a little bit of a shift in behavior for the team as well as the supervisors as well. This is the Chinese, the English to Chinese, and vice versa. So they can toggle between the 2 languages for the same topic, same article. Federated search, I mean, this is absolutely useful for us because we also want to know, the agents very frequently want to know what the customers are reading on the website. So they're able to find the results as well on the website. And then SharePoint, we've also got some search results from SharePoint. We haven't really migrated all of the content yet, and we never will as well because we've got multiple departments also generating content, and we just won't be able to do all of it. So there'll always be a reason to go into SharePoint as well. In terms of templates, so we primarily use the FAQs and the how-to templates, and essentially that helps. You can see that we've got some customer replies, so they can see what to say to the customer and then what they need to do as well. So it's very easy. With the customer reply, it actually helps to keep the quality of the response really good and consistent. I think we spoke about it, someone spoke about it early this morning. So giving them those responses for the customer actually keeps the quality up as well, the quality of the response. We've also used some guided flow, and of course not as many as we'd like to because it is a little bit time consuming, but we're working on it. So again, you've got all the questions on the side that's answered. It comes up with the top with the article, and then you can click on the article and you can read the content on that. Add to reply, this is something new that we've just implemented, and so essentially when agents click add to reply, that response would automatically be added to their chat dialog box. So they don't have to copy and paste that and then put it in there. That's what they used to do before. Now they just click on it, one click, and it goes automatically into the dialog box, and then they can amend it over there if they needed to. They can edit over there. Hopefully that shaves off some clicks and some time to respond to the customer as well. In terms of implementation challenges and mitigation, I'll be honest, we didn't have major ones, and they were not the ones that we had were not insurmountable. We had some solution requirements, changes, and design issues. We've got something called a SharePoint list format, which was rather difficult to federate at first, but so we kind of split the releases, and we went with the basic Knowledge Hub first, and then we added that later. Within a month, that was delivered as well. Knowledge Hub always on. Now, the initial design was to initiate the Knowledge Hub during an interaction within the Genesis interface. But we also realized that the agents, if they wanted to just go into Knowledge Hub, they would have to open a standalone browser and then look into that, and just to keep up to date with any changes as well. So we amended the interface to include the always-on kind of widget for agents to refer to without being in an interaction, but within the Genesis interface as well. So they don't have to jump in and out of the interface for that. Authoring knowledge articles. I think that's been the topic here today, and hopefully Jenna I can save us all. So this was a new system and structure, so authoring the initial set of knowledge articles post-training was pretty time-consuming. But with guidance from, again, the guidebook, the project team, from eGain as well, the authors were able to then start to produce value-added and quality knowledge articles. And of course, this is a continuous process, and it's getting better with time as well. So, resource requirements, absolutely. We quickly realized we needed to resource this properly, especially on the authoring side, and if you wanted to deliver the MVP on time. So we just started with, one FTE, but since then we've added like 5 to 6, both English and Chinese authors as well. And then change management. I think there's a lot said about that, resistance to change being the #1 barrier. So we're very, very aware of its importance, and very much with all our frontline, we have to do massive amounts of change management before we roll out anything. So our change management approach was elaborate. We started that journey when the project started. We appointed knowledge champions in each of the contact centers and used them as conduits for all of the updates. We had leadership messages via videos, newsletters early in the program to get everyone ready and ready for this change in the process and the system. And this helped send quite a good message that all the leaders were supporting this big change as well. There was a full communications plan that we executed about 2 to 3 months before the launch that included training videos and the information packs. And of course, we had a full launch and support process set up with eGain as well for on the day as well. So a lot of triage and excellent work. We continued with the leadership messages and updates, even post-implementation, and we're continuing to do that so that we keep the momentum and cadence there. And so all of this actually helped manage a lot of the expectations up front and address any of the concerns up early as well. It prepared the agents and the rest of the team of what was to come and how we would transition out of the current way of doing things to the new way of doing things as well. And I personally think the whole implementation was very smooth, and the key is to communicate, communicate, communicate. Never enough. In terms of metrics, of course, we were planning to measure a lot of aspects to evaluate the effectiveness of the Knowledge Hub, especially the impact to the call handling time, which is what our ROI is always based on. But of course, we are also aware that it's going to be a bit difficult to measure given there are so many different factors at play during an interaction. So you can't really pinpoint that, oh, this is because of Knowledge Hub. So we're aware of that. But right now, we are just interested in, are agents using it? Can they find what they're looking for? And are they clicking through to the articles? So that's just 3 things that we are looking at. So we have about 500 agents accessing a Knowledge Hub every day. There are about 3,400 active sessions and 9,000 article views every week. We have about 5% failed searches, and I think that's against a benchmark of about 3 to 6%. So it's not too bad, but this will improve as our agents get more familiar with the search terms, and that once we put more content in as well in the hub. Our click-through rates are also steadily increasing, and it's at approximately 60% against a benchmark of 45 to 65%. So not too bad. And at the moment, we're not measuring the click-through rates to the federated searches. So I think that percentage may be better than it really is. See, outcomes agents, the hard work, I think, has paid off and is paying off. Of course, it's going to be a journey. We've now got a single, unified, organized knowledge base that allows people to retrieve pretty complex information faster. We hope in time it will reduce the handling time per contact. We've got having the relevant information, customer scripts in hand as well. New joiners will have the confidence to hit the ground running, we think, and will result in probably shorter training and familiarization time. With the continuous feedback loop mechanism, I think it'll improve the quality of the content that's been put up. It'll make sure it's refreshed and the quality of the knowledge assets are upheld as well. In terms of new updates through announcements and read and sign features, that allows us to disseminate updates very, very quickly, and hopefully that will result in quicker knowledge consumption as well and retention as well. So overall, we believe this will enable and empower our agents to deliver that world-class service to our customers as we aspire to do. And moving forward, I know it's 0, 0, time's up. So we'll be working, again, what's next? We'll be working with eGain to expand the use of all the functions and features available. We're probably not using it to its full potential. We're actively looking at Gen AI and how it can make life easier for our authors and our agents. As an enterprise solution, of course, we are looking to implement Knowledge Hub for other departments. The great part is that it's easy to scale, so that's a good thing. Internally, we've also set up a center of excellence for knowledge management, and we'll be advocating knowledge management not just from a tool perspective, but from a practice and a discipline perspective. And we're looking to conduct maturity assessments across the business as well. So that's been our journey implementing knowledge management with eGain and Deloitte. So thank you very much. I hope this was useful for all of you. As I said, we've only just started. We are looking forward to a long and strong partnership with eGain to leverage the solution to improve our customer service and our business performance. Thank you.